The 7-Day Mental Diet by Emmet. So in Sunday's video, we discussed remaining as the observer. And this book assists in doing so. This video will help you tremendously by allowing your focus to remain on all that is in harmony with your vision, while also allowing your awareness to be open to new ideas that contribute to your vision. It will also help you when it comes to relating with your emotions in a healthy way. You'll also find that ideal behaviors will flow congruently and naturally in your arts, projects, relationships with others, and various other areas of your life. You'll also allow the magic to occur, the perhaps unknown factors that contribute to materializing a vision, allowing it to happen, letting it occur by releasing unnecessary control, manipulation, and suffering. So here's our premise. We are transformed by the renewing of our minds. Mind is blank, and we can fill it up with whatever thoughts we'd like. In the earlier stages, we may have allowed thoughts of how we should live to plant seeds in our mind, take root in mind, and externalize themselves as the various experiences of our lives, which we could call desirable or undesirable. At a certain point, we acknowledge that just as we inside have formed beliefs based on these thoughts of how we see ourselves, others, and our world, we can question them by asking ourselves, what is the vision of how we truly desire to live? If you see the benefit of asking this question, I trust you'll find my vision video last week to be very helpful. I'll link in the description to that video. So Emmet states, it's the food you furnish to your mind that determines the whole character of your life. It is the thoughts you allow yourself to think, the subjects that you allow your mind to dwell upon, which make you and your surroundings what they are. So upon observation, two words stand out for me: allow and dwell. One might have thousands of thoughts each day, and whatever thoughts we are not interested in encouraging, or as he says here, dwelling, provides the opportunity to apply the 7-day mental diet. I'd also like to add that this has become a lifestyle for me. And you'll also find that this becomes a way of life as you apply it. So you may find it worthwhile to revisit this video regularly, perhaps even daily. So he goes on to state, choose the subject of your thinking at any given time, and also choose the emotional tone, or what we call the mood, that colors it. Yes, you can choose your moods. Moods habitually entertained produce the characteristic disposition of the person concerned, and it is their disposition that finally makes or mars a person's happiness. So Webster's defines mood as a prevailing attitude, a state of mind or feeling. And so we find that by applying the 7-day mental diet, we allow ourselves to dwell in our ideal state of mind, in which everything happens naturally and ideally. I like to ensure that I'm in my ideal state or mood prior to any performance or project. This commitment, which I've encouraged over the years, has become automatic as I remain in it, which demonstrates the power of self-suggestion. You can easily suggest yourself into your ideal state by your inner speech, and that becomes your dwelling place, allowing the prosperity to flow naturally into your life. The 7-day mental diet also helps you listen to yourself and accept these loving self-suggestions above any undesirable mental chatter, overthinking, or emotional turmoil, which if we allow ourselves to dwell in undesirable thoughts, we could bring ourselves into a mood or state that represents as experience something that we are not consciously looking to experience. So, important distinction. By the power of our thoughts, we can transform our lives, or we could say inner speech or imagination. The intention behind the thoughts, inner speech or imagination. We can select the state or mood by encouraging, stimulating thoughts, inspiring thoughts, the intention from its premise, such as by asking a question. Let's see how this circumstance in front of me is actually of benefit. Always remember, now is the reality inside, and we enter and observe our ideal state or feeling on what we think feelingly now. And we observe as related thoughts, emotions, and behaviors express naturally from this mood or state. And so the 7-day mental diet is simple. If a negative or undesirable thought floats into your mind, let it pass. Recognize you are not the thought. You have a mind and you have thoughts. However, you are the observer of them. You have all the power. Let them pass and think of thoughts from your vision realized, such as, oh, this has become easier, and go about your day. Repeat this again and again for 7 days. If you find yourself dwelling in an undesirable thought, that's okay. No need to shame or condemn. Simply start the diet again and commit for another 7 days. And so he says, in regards to this commitment, it is only for 1 week in your life, and it will definitely alter everything for the better. For the rest of your life here, for all eternity in fact, things will be utterly different and inconceivably better than if you had not carried out through this undertaking. And he says, first of all, what do I mean by negative thinking? Well, a negative thought is any thought of failure, disappointment, or trouble, any thought of criticism, or spite, or jealousy, or condemnation of others, or self-condemnation, any thought of sickness or accident, or in short, any kind of limitation or pessimistic thinking. And so what I found to be helpful is to be aware of how it feels and ask myself the question, does this feel true? Because he says, do not bother too much about the question of classification. However, in practice, you will never have any trouble in knowing whether a given thought is positive or negative. So here's the word that stands out, knowing. It's really what it means to you. You can go by what you feel and what you know is true. To emphasize, he says, even if your brain tries to deceive you, your heart will whisper the truth. So I absolutely love this part here. We want to listen to the voice of our heart, as Steve Jobs once said. Don't let the noise of opinions drown out your own inner voice. Have the courage to follow your heart and intuition. They somehow already know what you truly want to become. Everything else is secondary. And so the 7-day mental diet may involve courage. The courage to listen to your heart and trust yourself. And to not let beliefs, which perhaps one has identified with in the past, to take possession of you. This could be considered the hardest part of the 7-day mental diet. Listening to your heart rather than the opinions that you know that are not true. However, this is a great way to grow the relationship with yourself and your inner voice and reveal your inherent self-confidence, because I believe we are all self-confident. We reveal it by listening to and trusting ourselves, and by keeping the commitments we have with ourselves, such as the 7-day mental diet. And what about 5 sensory information? The outer world. How do we relate to that information? You get to choose what it all means. Choose thoughts of love and harmony. Meditate perhaps upon Philippians 4:8. Whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, Whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of good report, think on these things. So your vision is now in mind. Your mood is what you are aware of being now. You are the observer in deep integration with your heart, mind, and behavior, and allowing things to unfold. And we let it happen. Allow it to happen. Let it be. We think from, emotionally relate from, behave from the vision. Unnecessary suffering, force, and control cease for one who allows the vision to unfold naturally. Let it be. Reality is now inside, and your vision is now inside, in which the outer, upon observation, lovingly rearranges to reflect your vision. So we think from, emotionally relate from, and behave from the vision. Like James Allen once said in his wonderful book, The Heavenly Life. The secret of life, of abundant life, with its strength, its felicity, and its unbroken peace, is to find the divine center within oneself and to live in and from that. Remember, we are the only suggester within, and we choose love in relation to the outer aspects of life. And so he says, second, you must be quite clear that what this calls for is that you shall not entertain or dwell upon negative things. Note this carefully. It is not the thoughts that come to you that matter, but only such of them as you choose to entertain and dwell upon. So what about emotions? Let them be. Don't dwell or allow thoughts of shame, condemnation, perfectionism, force, or control to taint the relationship with emotions. If you were doing this in the past, it's okay, you're fine, I did it too. I now observe them and let them be. Because unnecessary suffering is caused by control and force. Release those thoughts with respects to your emotions. You are whole and complete inside now. If you practice this, as I did, you'll find it's easy to self-suggest a mood, or even find upon observation that you are automatically doing what you want to do. You see, emotions don't hold us back or deny us from being how we desire to be. This can only be done in our own minds by how we relate to them. So it's recommended to relate lovingly with them. So the 7-day mental diet again is as follows. If a thought of disharmony shows up in mind for whatever the reason may be, and you know that it's not true, let it pass and go on with your day. As he says here, it is your mental consent, remember, that constitutes your diet. So now be consistent with this for the next 7 days. Which, by the way, this is how we are naturally, authentically. So the 7-day mental diet, we allow ourselves to be how we truly desire to be, which is natural and authentic to ourselves, in which our relationship with our vision and everything unfolds naturally in the spirit of harmony with all from that premise. So this is not about controlling your thoughts, but rather observing them and allowing them to flow. This is not about suppressing emotions, but rather observing them and letting them flow. This brings you into your ideal state or mood to live from. And here we think from, emotionally relate from, and behave from our vision, and everything else happens automatically. All roles are played to reflect as your vision realized. So start the 7-day mental diet today. And make it a lifestyle by committing to it for another 7 days, and then again, and so on. Every time it will reveal further your natural way of being, and you'll realize how could have life been any other way. Allow yourself to be this way, and everything related to your vision will unfold naturally, which will lay the foundation for your next vision, and so forth throughout eternity, as he says. And one of my favorite parts of the 7-day mental diet is where he says, suppose your world seems to rock on its foundations. Hold on steadily, let it rock, and when the rocking is over, the picture will have reassembled itself into something much nearer to your heart's desire. So if doubts from the past externalize as others saying things or information that shows up to reveal the doubt, it's fine. Let the thought be, let the emotion be, and return back to your diet. Allow your world to rearrange to reflect your vision. Allow the subconscious to take care of everything. The power is in not allowing identification to sway you from your vision. The cause is within, and as you accept it, you know the creative power beyond any conjecture. You actually embody it and you live it. So I trust you found this video to be helpful. Let's go ahead and conclude this with an auto-suggestion to further encourage. You could say, I encourage and reveal my inherent ability to observe my thoughts, and from this premise, it is easy for me to choose what I want to entertain. I am the suggester and suggestee within, and I choose to live the life I desire to live. I'm aware of my thoughts, emotions, and behaviors, which flow from my ideal mood, which I allow myself to experience, as I find myself living from my ideal state of mind. Inner conversations, emotional relatability, and behaviors all flow naturally and authentically from my vision as the reality now. Now is whole and complete inside, and I choose consciously how I desire to be in peace, love, and harmony with all. If you would like a copy of this mind map, the link is in the description. Thank you very much for watching. I'll talk to you soon. Take care.